Hi, I'm Melanie, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys an introduction to graphing. So our learning objectives for today is we're going to learn about axes, independent, dependent variables, how to create a legend, what makes a good title, and remembering to put units on your graph. So first we're going to start learning about axes. So the x-axis is the horizontal one, and the y-axis is vertical. And as you can see, on this quadrant right here, that the x and y are both positive. Here, the x is negative, but the y is positive. This, right here, the x and y are both negative, and right over here, the x is positive, but the y is negative. Okay, so now we're going to talk about variables featured on the graphs. So the independent variable is the variable that you manipulate in an experiment, and that goes on the x-axis. And the dependent variable changes because of the manipulation that you made with the independent variable, and therefore it goes on the y-axis. So here you could just another visual to see where you would put those. Okay, so an example. As Johnny eats more candy, he becomes more energetic. What, in this case, is the independent variable, and what's the dependent variable? Okay. The amount of candy is the independent variable because that's what he's in control of. And the amount of energy he gains is the dependent variable because that's what changes as a result of the amount of candy he eats. Okay, so using a legend. A legend is helpful when overlaying two different graphs. So it helps the viewer understand what's happening. And in this, without the legend, you see that there's two different colors, but you don't know why or what those colors mean. It could mean so many different things, which is why you need a legend. So after seeing the legend, you could see that the red line was a girl named Sophia's data, and then the blue was my group's data. And this is a real graph. We will refer to this graph later. So let's look at some numbers. 12. Is this big? Is it small? 2 billion. 180, 0.45, and do you guys think these numbers are big or small? Which one was the biggest, and which one was the smallest number in size? Well, those numbers didn't have units. So with units, it's 12 feet, 2 billion atoms, which are really, really small. 180 centimeters, 0.45 tons, which is a huge weight. So without units, graphs are meaningless because you can't tell if the number is big or small, and you don't understand what the graph is measuring. So if a person were to come by and look at your graph, they'd be extremely confused. Okay, now, tell me what this book is about. Can you tell me? I mean, there's not really a lot of details. So using titles is super important. What makes a good title? Well, it should tell you what the graph is about, and usually it's the y-axis variable versus the x-axis. So this again is our pressure versus altitude, which you can see and hint you'll learn in the following modules. There is a trend here, and this actually has a slope. And it's very important, too, to not use adjectives because adjectives don't have the same meaning for every single person, and adjectives are opinionated. And graphs, they tell you facts, and that's why you have to keep it simple and fact-based. And that concludes this lesson. Get prepared for your check for understanding, and you will be learning about some other fun stuff in the next lesson.